Oh, hey guys, how are you? A little casual bicep flex for you there to get your attention, to get your focus. Because listen, sometimes I could be giving out the lotto numbers here and people just don't stick for the entirety of whatever production I'm putting forward. And listen, I do a lot of things, but sucking ain't one of them. So you should stay for this message here today. I've stopped drinking coffee totally for a variety of reasons, but this is what I did. I stopped drinking it for 2 weeks. Two weeks. I usually drink it in the morning. I wanted my body to become a clean slate to gauge the effects of drinking something similar as far as delivering benefits, yet not having the caffeine and some of the negative things that come along with that. So I'm drinking now a spearmint extract, which is mixed with cocoa. I'll tell you why in a second. But first of all, with coffee, talk about some of the positives and negatives, and I've got my list here. And there's positives with drinking coffee. Obviously, we know some of the literature says it helps burn fat. It doesn't go in there like a little Pac-Man head and eat fat cells, but it can increase your metabolism, your resting metabolism, the rate at which you burn calories at rest, up to 3 to 10%. And some people who are obese, even more so because they've got more to give. I don't really go with that. It's kind of dangerous advising that because some people just drink coffee, do nothing else, and hope the fat melts away. It doesn't. A lot of other factors have to be in place for that to happen. Increases muscular contractivity. I know this is true for me. A muscle flex is the myofibrils coming together and relaxing, and the better the contraction, the better the performance, and hopefully the growth, if that's what you're trying to stimulate. And caffeine helps facilitate that to a certain degree. So that is a true thing. It can supposedly prevent cirrhosis of the liver. It can fight depression, and on the other end, it can also cause depression and anxiety so badly they have to go on antidepressants. And some people who, you can abuse anything. You can drink too much water, obviously, but some people are drinking pots of this all day. They're living on it, and that's caffeine. It's a synthetic. Too much of it is just not good. One thing about caffeine and coffee, as far as a Western diet goes, coffee in and of itself, as a foodstuff, even when compared to fruits and vegetables, has the highest level of antioxidants at anything else that we consume in the Western world, which is a good thing. Now, some of the cons, we got to talk about that. Increase in blood pressure. And these are really relevant if you already have a lot of things pre-existing. And the problem with that is some cases you don't know what you have. How do you find out you're allergic to something until you are exposed to it? Well, there you go. You got to live your life and you got to do your due diligence, have good goals, and be careful. You got these young kids now, they're drinking all these monster drinks. You've heard of those, and they're full of caffeine and other speeders. And they don't drink just one. There's reports of people drinking 4, 5, 8, 12, and some of them drop dead. They may have a pre-existing, they may not, because this increases the contractility of the heart. You may have a problem with the valves. There's 3 types of muscle in the body. There's smooth, there's skeletal, and there's cardiac. The cardiac muscle is different than the other muscles. Your heart beats billions of times, and you can unsettle that with too much caffeine. And I'm talking real hyper delivery of caffeine, so that's not a good thing. While caffeine can help you have a bowel movement every morning, it also lend to incontinence. So too much of it, or if you're just a different type of genetic recipient and your body is not as kind and welcoming, you could have problems there. Also, it could obviously cause insomnia. That's increased synaptic activity. You just can't shut things off. Indigestion, headaches. While it could be good for type 2 diabetics, it says in some of the things I've read that it could also be bad for type 2 diabetics, and there's difficulties in glucose metabolism, and that makes total sense. Ultimately, for some women, it could worsen menopausal symptoms, so you probably don't want to have any coffee in your house that time of life or time of the year. It can increase anxiety and depression, and interestingly, this is something a lot of people would be interested in, and it could decrease collagen production in the body and the skin. And that can lend, especially if it's coupled with cigarette smoking. You talk about looking old before your time. You lose that collagen, that elasticity in the skin. This can be caused by too much caffeine. You get that sag. You're not looking youthful. You're certainly not looking like Dorian Gray. So you want to cut down on your coffee. So for me, I stopped for 2 weeks. I wanted my body to be a clean slate. I mean, I could have stopped one day and started drinking the spearmint and cocoa combination the next day, but all the caffeine wouldn't be out of my system. So I don't know where the positives or negatives are coming from. So I took 2 weeks off. I started drinking the spearmint cocoa combination. The spearmint has something called phenols in it. It helps, it disallows Eat acetylcholine in your brain to be blocked, and that's something that helps with memory, concentration, planning, organization, focus, all those good things that you get with the proper amount of caffeine, if there is a proper amount. And the cocoa, in combination with the spearmint, increases blood flow to the brain, which in some cases, there's been some studies that show that better blood flow in the brain decreases dementia. So, you got a lot of positives here in maintaining yourself, aging but not getting old. That's what it's all about. So if you don't want to give up coffee, some people just won't. They want that, stimulation. I've benefited by it for years. I've got more miles on me now, so I'm trying to be kinder to myself. I'm trying to preserve myself. I'm trying to feel better. If anything, you may want to drink your coffee in the morning and maybe switch over to spearmint cocoa combination in the afternoon. You'll get a lot of those benefits that you get from caffeine. Only you won't get the letdown, and you won't feel like running like Carl Lewis. Not that you could, anyhow. So try that out. Let me know what you think. And as always, leave your thoughts, questions, considerations down below. And you have a great night. Thank you.